If you're a fitness fanatic like me, then you really enjoy exercising. Your heart beats faster, your lungs breathe in and out more frequently, and you sweat a ton. If you're glasses like me, they fog up. Most mammals have sweat glands, but you're not going to see a giraffe running across the African plains sweating. They regulate their body temperature differently than we do. But most mammals have sweat glands. They just use different mechanisms to cool off. So how do giraffes cool off? What do they do when it's hot? And why is it that humans sweat so much? Let me go cool off a bit more, and then I'll tell you the answers. Both people and giraffe evolved around 1 to 2 million years ago in Africa when the continent was undergoing a lot of ecological changes. The forests were shrinking and the savanna woodland was increasing. So how did giraffe adapt to this dry, arid environment? They developed both behavioral and physiological ways to cope. As far as behavior goes, when it gets really warm, giraffe will seek out shade trees. Keeps them cool, prevents them from getting too much sun. If there aren't any shade trees around, or if they're really scattered about, then the giraffe will align themselves so they're parallel with the sun rather than perpendicular, so they don't absorb as much heat. And then finally, they adjust their time budget. So when it's really hot during the day, they will rest more and feed less. And during the warm season, they'll also do the same thing. They actually eat less and rest more. And if you look at their body, now we'll go to the anatomy and physiology part, look at the body. It's kind of weird shaped, but those long legs, long neck, and even the two ossicles on top of their head, those all help in heat exchange to regulate their body temperature. Now our body temperature, if it goes from 98.6 to 104, we're really hot. Chances are we're sick. Something's happening. And if we get much hotter, we can fry our brain. On the other hand, giraffe can go from a 95 degree Fahrenheit temperature to 102 degrees, and there's no ill effects. The body temperature increases. Giraffe have a really long nose, and inside of their nose, there's kind of like a maze or a tunnel network. They're called nasal turbinates. And those turbinates actually provide a mechanism that functions as both a thermostat to maintain body temperature and as a humidifier to retain water. So when they're breathing in and out of their nose is working like a thermostat and a humidifier to maintain their body temperature. They do have sweat glands, but you won't see a giraffe sweating a ton when they're running around the African savanna. They might just leak out a little bit of water here and there, but it's not a major way that they maintain their body temperature. One of the other ways that they retain water instead of sweating is that they produce poop that comes out in pellets, just like koalas. Koalas also live in a dry environment, and neither koalas nor giraffe drink every day, so they produce this poop. So what's the story with people? Well, natural selection worked out a clever way that evolution produced a mechanism that's unique to people for cooling off. When we became bipedal and we're running around the African savanna, we lost our hair and became naked. And at the same time, our sweat glands ended up moving all around our body and became capable of going into overdrive and producing tons of water, which then evaporates and cools off our body to regulate our temperature. So giraffe and people both evolved ways to regulate the body temperature, although they're quite different. And one of our unique aspects of cooling off is we sweat a lot.